Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Wilson, and today I present you the Excel Invoicing System Part 3. I just want to quickly recap what we did. In Part 1, we started the creation of this customer data entry system. It had a new and a save button, and that's all you could do is new and save. But we've updated it in Part 2, fixed the code, uh, made it so we could transfer customer data over to the Ship To screen, and then we could update records, load records based on search, and that sort of thing. So just to re-demonstrate, I'll just load up a general, like a couple of companies here and say we want to edit them. You know, I could say this person lives on Blue Bell, you know what I mean? Like 1378 Bluebell Road. And usually like Chester, PA 19013. And we can pass that over, and that works beautiful. We could update that customer record. It's okay to update this record. All that code is working fine. It loads that information into the customer data section. And that's what we were doing in parts 1 and 2. But before I go on, ladies and gentlemen, support the channel. I need y'all to support the channel. Um, Subscribe, click the bell for notifications so when I release a new video, you get the update when I release a new video. And check out the website. I'm going to post this invoice up there when I'm done with it for you guys can mess with it and like check out some of the codes. Um, be sure to like this video because it shares it with other people that may benefit from it. Like, and let's go. All right, down to the code. All right, so what we had to do was we had to go into sheet 1, which is the service invoice. As you can see here, that's our service invoice. And we had to do similar codes as what we've done in this project before, but with minor modifications. And I had some issues with this code, and I actually have gotten so bad with this sheet that it wouldn't even open properly because I didn't do this specific code right. Um, so what I'm going to do is just explain what I did. All right, so I did a worksheet change by value as target as range. And what that means in English is when a value of a cell on a sheet changes, um, execute the following code. So what I ended up having to do was I had to use two worksheets, set WS as worksheets service invoice, set WS2 as worksheets customer data, and these lines right here are really critical. Take note of what they are because without those, this code will not run and it will crash like your whole thing. Or like you'll have to be like control alt delete and giving the computer the three finger salute, so to speak, and it's just a mess. But anyway, then we go to the last row. We gotta find the last row, which is on our customer data sheet, which is WS2 rows XL up. That's the code that gets us the last row. Then we have to check from our variable I, which is a long. I is basically going to be the row reference on the customer data form. So what's going to happen is it's going to pull data from the customer data form into our worksheet on the invoice. And it's going to do that for every cell, like all 11 cells that I've set up of the customer name, company name, street address, street zip, phone number, ship name, shipped customer, ship street address, city, state, zip, phone number. All right, so I took care of all that and I carefully labeled out these so that I would not confuse myself because there's a lot of jumping around that you have to do to make this kind of work for you. And I got it to work with this part of it to work with minimal issues. So since we used a with, we got to end a with. We started this with the if, we're going to have to end with the if, and then we're going to have to go to the next I. And it's going to loop through all this once, and then it's going to put the sheet back to normal. So what this does is it stops the sheet from making changes and interfering with the code, basically. And this brings it back to where we can make changes and run different codes. So, I mean, it is what it is. All right, so I'm going to make some spaces. I'm going to save my work. I'm going to put the breaks in so we can see this code as it runs. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select. I made this a drop down. What you do to make this a drop down, first of all, you have to go to data and you have to go to data validation. So I'll pull up the data validation and I went and I set it to be my customer data sheet, column A, row 2, to column A, row 999. So it's going to pull just the customer numbers from that sheet. And it's going to check to see that that customer number is on the sheet. And then it's going to pull up all the data based upon that. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, before I run this, oh, let me stop. Let's try it again. Oh, this is going to make me look like a fool now. What is the deal with this? All right. All right, I'm going to pull this up again. I want to see if we can step through this code so we can see it as it goes. But unfortunately, for some reason, it doesn't want to cooperate, right? Put it in break. Put it in stop. Wow, that's just unbelievable. All right, so we're going to have to troubleshoot why this isn't happening. So we're going to run it normally. And this is what takes patience. Hmm. Okay. I don't know. I don't know why that would occur. This is that's something else. Well, for all intents and purposes, this project is crazy. All right. Alright, we'll save it like that. And we'll like troubleshoot. And let's try and see if we get it to run. Nope. Well, let's see. Does the other part of this work? Are we having... So that works. But this is not. I don't know what to do. I must have knocked something out of here. Let me pause this and let me... Okay, I figured out what the problem was. Excel was acting very glitchy. I'm going to try this again with the developer. And we're going to load the code. Alright, and I just want to see how this runs before I go to the next steps. So it goes into that. Now it's acting, now the program is responding normally. Sorry for the inconvenience. Alright, maybe I can move this over a little bit so we can see what's going on. So it's going through the loop, it's checking for the cells, and it's starting to populate the information on the invoice. There we go. Let's try it without the breaks. And there we go. It just like works like a charm. Beautiful. All our customer data is like there. And it also generates the invoice number every time I switch to customer number. Then you go and you fill out the invoice, right? Shipping terms. I don't even know what to do for that. But anyway. So that's what that code does. It works, and I'm working on the printer code. I'm going to run this. All right, what it does is it prints out the invoice to test invoice.pdf. I want to replace it. And we could take a look at it, but that's the simple code that does that. And I generated this code simply by recording the macro because I looked around on the internet. I couldn't find a code that does exactly this. And what we're going to do this is we're going to have to clear this invoice. We're going to have to clear all the fields in this invoice, all the applicable fields. So we'll leave invoice number alone. We'll clear customer ID. And for that information, I could go back and I could reference, create a new module. And I'm going to go to the properties of this module. I'm going to rename this module Clear Invoice. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at each field and what they are. And I'm just going to like list them out in this module. something similar to what we have in Clearform. So since I wrote this code before, there's no need to write it again. We're just going to change it around and make it work with what we're doing. It's always good to start with like a base code. So I'm going to say this is a sub clear invoice. All right. WS's worksheet. So we're going to switch that to service invoice. We'll leave the application screen codes. And then I'm going to change from, take this customer data. Nah, there's nothing there. All right. Since I've identified these cells, I'm going to bring that code back here. And this is going to look a mess, but all right. So what we're doing is we're referencing. So I'm going to take out. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to copy and paste. We'll see if this works. All right, so it'll blink that out, and I also want to add one. All right, and I'm also going to record a macro to help us delete the rest of the invoice. And then this is the recording macros is how I got started in creating macros, because if I would record a macro, I would look at the macro after I recorded it, then I would take out the unnecessary parts and make it work more efficiently. And I learned a lot by doing that alone. All right, so since we're going to do a row reference, as it guides us there, it's going to be row 7, column 5 equals, oops, I want to put the dot value. Oops. All right, so we're on the right sheet. We got the right cell references. Let's see if we can. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, this is. I gotta get out of here. Okay. Let me do this. Let me do this. Before I could do anything, I have to close this book without saving it. Don't save. All right, reason being is I edited the wrong module, and let's see here. Developer, Visual Basic. All right. Clearform is preserved, so I'm going to insert a new module. and paste this code in. We lost no time, no sweat, no harm, no foul. All right. Now we're going to call this clear invoice. WS must be the service invoice. So we're on the right sheet. Now I'm almost ready to test this. Let's see if we could step into it and see what it does. So I put my brakes in and put my cursor there, and I'm gonna see if I can step into it. I step into codes initially in order to troubleshoot any potential problems. Although we couldn't tell much, it did as intended. But we're gonna have to add some stuff because it's not gonna get the whole invoice. All right. So I am just gonna do a bunch of cell references. Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna record a macro. Actually, I'm gonna stop. Stop that. And I'm gonna record a macro to to help us erase this invoice. So I'll leave that there. Let's see, just for sake of argument, 1 and 1. 1 and value. What's the problem? Error in value. If sum A19 is greater than 0, I see what's going on. I see. But why am I getting an error in value? Like I said, this isn't my invoice. I got this, it's a template that I downloaded, so this is just another fun error to correct. Let's see. What is the deal? What is F18? A, B, C, D, E, F, 18. Oh, okay. We have to put in something. I don't know how this works. Anyway, what is F18? So there's an error. That needs to be changed to 19. That's why. Now that works. That works. Like I said, I got this invoice like this. I didn't know that the error existed. Let's see. And they're all like that. That error persists. Let's see. I'm gonna drag the cells down. Let's take a look at this. And by doing that, you notice that all the row references meet. But then we are having reference problems. So to make this invoice work properly, um, 34 total discount. Total discount equals, huh? What's it supposed to be? Hmm, it's a good one. I'm gonna put 834. G35? I don't know. Oh, who knew? So we can fix this. There's no problem. 50%? 50% discount. Alright, and how is this a sales tax? Oh my goodness. Alright, so we're gonna have to really think this one out. 834. What about F? 834. If 834 is greater than 0. So, what? Alright. Error in the value. Show calculation steps. If true, sums out, evaluate, get a value. Okay. It doesn't tell us anything. Maybe if I do that, change that to 34. 834 times G34. Alright, so I'm trying to calculate the total discount, and you know what I think we should do? Like, now this invoice is yours. It's written, none of it's written in stone. So I'm going to modify it to my own liking. Um, hmm. But this is 834. I don't even know why we're using 834. Tell you what, I'm taking it out. I don't need it. And this sales tax is erroneous. I'm gonna take that out too. The total equals sub subtotal and tax, right? Then the subtotal needs to equal the sum of all the line totals. Subtotal equals sum. It's fine. All right. So that way I can say you got two pieces of item number 5 at $500 a piece. And I give 100% means no discount. What? 1% equals, what is, this is just funny. Ooh. What is going on with this? This is just, oh my gosh. Let me see here. All right, I'm going to take a break and correct all. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what kind of math they had in that template, but I did not like the math in that template. Now this math is starting to make sense. I'm going to take these and format the columns. Page layout data. Format cells. Currency. We want that. We can use the $ symbol. Make it look right. And that's that. All right, now I want to add to this part of the code a little code where I'm going to make the invoice something that I can deal with here. Oh, we got to calculate a sales tax. In my state, sales tax is 10%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that equals this times 1.06. All right, now the math is making sense. Does this math make sense to you now? All right, I had to pause the video and I had to do a sanity check on this math. Now we are on the roll. Now I'm going to delete parts of this invoice, and I'm going to do so. One of the old ways I used to do is I used to create a view. All right, custom view. And all I do is I select certain fields, and I'm going to create a view. Add, select invoice, uh, detail. It seems long. All right. So now I'm ready to record this macro, and we'll just leave it as macro one. It's going to put it into a new item so we could get the code from there. So here it goes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to select my custom view, and I'm going to hit delete, and I'm going to stop it. And then I'm going to go back to get that code from that module and just take it to my clear invoice. So I'm going to put it after the end with. All right. Then we're going to have to, we'll go ahead and step through it. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . All right, so there's a couple of things that I want it to do is I want it to default back to the the customer ID field. So if we could do that, we could say E7 select. All right, before we do that, I'm gonna be like, oh, we can't do that. Can't do that. It's like, well, I mean, I guess, I mean, let's see. I could always record that macro again. All right. So I think we're pretty much getting near done with this. I mean, it's a pretty basic invoice system. I mean, I added a customer data management system to it so that we can add customers and manage customers separately from the invoice. Um, Maybe you could try a little if. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm gonna make it so that we don't have to see all those zeros. So I wonder how would I do that? I don't know. I'll bet we get, yep, we'll get an error with that. Accept correction. Oh crap. Alright, just gonna put it back to where I had it. It worked. Alright, so now I'm basically completed this invoice project. I went ahead and added a print button and a clear button. So if I wanted to print, it's gonna print and save it as you know. And let's see what that looks like when we open it. So there are some things that are a little funky with it, but that's no big deal. I could probably change a little thing or two about that there. Um, and that's really it. I mean, we set it up to where we can load our customer data and that sort of thing. I'm gonna save my work, and it seems like there's something funky with this code, whereas um, it would stop working like intermittently. There we go, that's back. So it's like it seems like you could use it once and then close it and use it again. I don't know if you want to do that, but that's not the purpose, you know. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and print and see what that error message is about. And print the test invoice. Save it. I want to replace it. And print it in 2 pages. But that could always be modified. Cleared the invoice. That works. So like, hey, if you guys really like this stuff and you really enjoy doing it, like come and support the channel. Go to my blog, like the video, subscribe, share this with a friend. Anything you could do to help the channel goes, because without you, I have no channel. Also comment, give me some suggestions, give me some ideas, and I will also come at you with some more fresh content. My name is Paul Wilson, and I am signing off. The invoice will be available on the site shortly, and have a great day.